Alright guys, so in today's video we are going to be speaking about the top 5 classes you should be using in Trove. But before we get into today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe, because I'm so close to 1k and it would help me out a ton. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. Starting off, we're going to be talking about speed farming classes. Starting off, the number 1 class I'd recommend for speed farming is Shadow Hunter. Shadow Hunter is amazing at speed farming because he can literally shoot straight through the dungeon. As long as you have a mod where you can literally see where the boss is. He also, once you have his class gem, he also has an ability where he gains about 40 movement speed when you hit shift. So when you somersault, you gain about 40 movement speed. Quick disclaimer, for all these speed farming classes, you are gonna want to be building them towards crit hit, crit damage and physical damage. But if your crit hit is already 100, or I would say about 90, you do not need to worry about crit hit. I would recommend just swapping that out for like maximum health. The next class for speed farming that we are going to be talking about is the Lunar Lancer. Due to his ring ability, if you have it enabled, you can pretty much gain about 100 movement speed or so. Like, he also is pretty good damage wise. So next up on the speed farming list is going to be the Bard class. This class is probably the hardest class to get in the game, next to the Vanguard and the Solarian. But once you do have him, and if you are up for the grind or you are simply just pay to win, he has the highest base movement speed that you can pretty much get. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend grinding for the Bard, simply because he is unnecessarily hard to obtain. Moving on from speed farming, we are going to be talking about DPS characters that you're going to be using for Levi's. Keep in mind that these classes that you're going to be using for DPS, they are only good for a single target. That's why they are only used for like Levi's and very strong bosses. Say in like a ship you need someone to clean boss, I would recommend these classes because they have the highest damage in the entire game and the highest damage per second in the entire game. Number 1 on this list currently is the Solarian. Quick tip, he also has a very good subclass. It gives you quite a bit of light, which could be very useful if you're trying to get into U11 as soon as possible. The Solarian, he currently has the highest damage per second. He's the strongest class in the game currently, but he is very pay to win. Like, you're basically not going to be able to achieve him organically, like through the collection of materials, whatnot. So I'd recommend you just buying him. There is like a cheap, not necessarily cheap, but quite affordable pack in the shop right now. It's about 1.5k credits. It's not too expensive. However, you will need to do your research on how to use him, because when I unlocked him, I didn't know how to use him and I was trying to use him against Levi's and I just kept dying. What you're basically going to be doing is like stacking all your attacks together, and that way you get the most damage out of the Solarian. Moving on to the next best DPS character, we have the Boomeranger. This class has a really good AoE attack if you're looking to clean ships, which could also be a good way to grind gear crafting vaults for C5, or if you're simply just trying to grind Paragon levels. The thing about the Boomeranger is that he is pretty much a better version of the Knight. So if you are looking to play the Knight, I wouldn't recommend it because he's pretty cheap as well. He's really easy to get, so I'd recommend unlocking him as soon as possible if you are looking to do ships or pretty much get C5. And there are a few mentions for DPS. There is the Chloromancer, who used to be the highest damage class in the entire game. There also is the Dracolite, but I wouldn't recommend. I mean, he still has quite high damage, but if you want to go for it, then go for it. Here is a quick tip as well. Please do not play a class that you do not enjoy, because the game will just get boring like really fast. Find a class that you enjoy and that is pretty viable. Those are currently the 2 categories of classes that you're going to want to have in Trove currently. Some special mentions I also have if you are looking to go the magic route for speed farming. These two classes which are pretty good for movement as well. We have the Ice Sage, who, number 2 ability, what it does is it grants you a shield that I think reduces damage, and it also speeds up your movement speed by about 50. So if you already have like movement speed on your gear, you can pretty much, speed between dungeons really quickly. And we also have the Fey Trickster, who is also really good between dungeons and has, I would say a decent amount of damage. The reason why it is pretty good for between dungeons is because its M2 attack is a teleport ability, which if you have energy regen on your gear, you can pretty much just teleport between dungeons like it's nothing. Yeah, but with that being said, the top 3 classes I would recommend in this video for you to obtain is the Shadow Hunter currently, because he's broken. And the last 2 I would be recommending in this video is the Beamringer and the Solarian. I wouldn't recommend grinding the materials to craft the Solarian. It is a big waste of time. I would just buy it straight out from the shop. And to end this video off, please enjoy the class that you're playing, and I will see you guys in the next Trove video. If you did enjoy today's video, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1k, and I'll see you guys in the next one.